So wait a minute. You're telling me your agent is trying to negotiate their commission the day before closing? Absolutely not. Let's get into it.
But we're not going to be able to close tomorrow.
Why not?
Because the title company can't get a hold of the lender to balance numbers.
Oh, the lender told me he could fund tomorrow, no problem.
Well, they can fund, but they have to respond to the title company to balance numbers.
Let me give him a call.
And then I just wanted to make sure because, when we did the purchase agreement, the buyer's paying closing costs and commissions.
Now, understanding that the commission, from what I've told my lender, is coming out of the $58,500.
The buyer is assuming that that's not coming out of the seller's proceeds. The buyer took that on. That's why we agreed to what we agreed to and lowered it. But when Abdi took it on, it is the buyer to pay for the closing costs and commissions.
Well, what my lender's going to fund is going to be, he's going to fund $60,000. $1,500 of that is going to go to Abdi. And then you guys are going to get the $58,000, and however the 58 is split up is going.
That's not how it works. That's not. No, the purchase price was $58,500, and the seller's paying the buyer's paying closing costs.
Yeah, title fees.
Yeah, closing costs and commissions.
Well, I'm paying all that. My lender's not going to be. His lending guidelines are he doesn't pay brokerages, so. Right. Essentially what's happening is
it'll be in, so it's going to be in your closing costs and it'll be in that breakdown.
But no. You signed an agreement with your seller saying that the nature of your listing agreement quite literally states that your seller is paying you out of their proceeds.
No,
So when you signed a listing agreement with the seller, the listing agreement said that the buyer is going to pay the commission? Because that's not how real estate works in the United States. This is
Wait. Well, how does what not work in the United States?
Your commission as a realtor comes out of the purchase price. The listing agreement that you signed with your client states that your proceeds come out of the sales price that they get. My lender, okay, well, maybe the deal is dead then. My lender is only going to be funding 58 and the $1,500 assignment fee. The closing costs, the title fees, yeah, I'll pay all the title fees, absolutely, but I'm not paying your commission.
Right.
All I can tell you is I'm going to call my lender right now. We're going to fund 58. I'm not going to pay your commission.
Well, then we're going to have to figure something out. And
when we say figure something out, it means that you abide by the listing agreement that you signed with the client.
Yeah, I am abiding by the listing agreement. And the listing agreement in the PA states that of these signs by law that he is paying for the closing costs and commission.
No, I'm going to pay the closing costs here. I'm not paying any sort of commission.
Well, we can't negotiate that now.
It's not a negotiation. That's what I agreed to.
Exactly.
I agreed to pay closing costs. But the thing is, my lender is not going to be funding commission.
It is what it is. We're clear to close. We're ready to go. It is what it is on this.
I have a quick question. When you approached your seller and you said, "Hey, I'm going to sell your house for you," you came to the seller and you're like, "But you don't have to pay any commission."
No, she didn't say that.
I came to the seller and we made an agreement on what we made, and your buyer came in and the buyer stated what he wanted to do. So that kind of supersedes
I'm the buyer,
any other thing.
but I'm the buyer.
Here's the thing: the buyer of me, who came to me originally, that's what I'm trying to explain. And I don't want to fight. I'm just trying to tell you what we have legally and logistically. Is that when you sign a buyer's agency agreement, you sign a purchase agreement, things do change. Because just like if I tell a seller, I'm going to sell your house for $200,000, and then you come to me and say, I'm going to buy your house for $210,000, that changes the original agreement between me and the seller.
Okay.
Okay. Well, all I can tell you, if it falls through, that's going to be okay with me. All I can tell you is that I'm ready to close tomorrow at 58.5 and closing costs. If there's any fee that you need, if there's any fee that you need above that, it's going to be coming out of the seller's proceeds. Okay, I'm going to call my lender now. There's nothing I can do to change this. Talk soon though, okay?
Okay. So this instance right here is exactly why I wanted to sit down and have this conversation. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kay, giving you the real keys to home ownership so that your first buy does not become your first regret. And today we're talking about real estate agents and lenders, the not so good ones. My biggest issue with this first video is not about the money, because I do believe that people should get paid for the services that they provide. However, the bigger problem is that she's having this conversation with him the day before closing is supposed to happen. So my question to her is, why are we discussing this issue so late in the game? The day before closing is not the time to do anything. The day before closing, buyers are stressed. They've already coordinated everything they needed to so that they can move into that property. The sellers have set their mind on the amount of money that they're getting from the transaction. Everything's set in stone. My point in saying all of that is renegotiating compensation or anything the day before closing is a huge red flag. Very much a no-no. Now, when it comes to compensation in real estate, it's really such a sore topic for real estate agents themselves and for their clients who have to pay their commission, whether that's the seller or the buyer of the transaction. But let me tell you something. Your agent's compensation should be discussed before you even sign anything, before you even go under contract, before you even sign a buyer's representation agreement, which says that, hey, me as a buyer or as a seller am agreeing to work with you as an agent. You're going to be my representation. And once we find a house or complete this transaction, I'm going to pay you. What also should be talked about is who's paying it. If I'm a buyer and I'm going to an agent looking for someone to represent me, a good agent, a good realtor is going to let you know upfront what their fee is and who they're expecting to pay it. As a buyer, if they're expecting you to pay that fee, they need to let you know. Or if they plan on getting their commission from the seller, they need to let you know that as well. So that when it gets to the day before closing, there are no surprises. And a telltale sign that you're dealing with somebody who knows what they're doing and they're professional is they're upfront and honest with you. In real estate, when you're purchasing a home, last minute changes are bound to happen. And that doesn't mean that anybody is being dishonest. You can have seller concessions or your seller credit change. You also have contract terms that change. If a loan process has gone out a little longer than anticipated and you guys are having to close after the closing date that's written on the contract. And then another thing that I see a lot is when it comes to repairs, that can also push the closing date out. So there are a lot of moving parts in the loan process. You have to be patient and expect that there are going to be changes. Now, with all of that being said, with all of the changes that are happening, what I didn't say is that you should be confused. Your representation matters. A good agent and a good lender matters. If you're going through something and you realize you're confused, it wasn't explained clearly to you. So with anything, while you're in your home buying process, you always need to ask, was this explained clearly to me? And if you're still confused, then it wasn't. The biggest lesson to learn from this young man and his situation is that feelings don't override contracts. That's literally why contracts were created, I'm sure, because as people were emotional, and we're looking out for our own best interests. And sometimes people are willing to mess over the next person or the other person to get what they want. With a contract, you can't do that. Whatever was signed, whatever was written, that's what it is. Your feelings don't matter. That's why you need to be careful before you sign and agree to those terms in writing. I don't know about y'all, but I don't like a lot of last minute changes and things. It makes me feel anxious and that somebody may be trying to pull one over on me. So let me ask you, if you got to the end of your transaction, you're about to move into your home, it's the day before closing, and you have a lot of extra moving parts and people trying to change things, would you still go through with the transaction or would you be weary and wanting to pull out? I'm interested to hear what you have to say. Let me know down below. Now, speaking of professionalism, this next clip that we're about to see really bothered me for a completely different reason. Because I feel like this. If someone is paying you thousands of dollars to represent them in a transaction, the least that you can do is treat them with respect. Let's take a look.
I've been in my house a couple of weeks, and here's a few things why I wish I would have vetted the realtor that I chose. So I went with the realtor that I chose because my dad worked with her a few times, and I kind of knew her from
That don't
my
mean
dad,
nothing,
basically.
baby.
Therefore, I thought that I could trust her and that she would obviously have my best interest.
That's the
and
first
I'm not
mistake.
saying that she didn't have my best interest, but it was just some things that I didn't like that she did. One of them being that when I told her I wasn't going to go with her lender, she decided that she wanted to catch a little attitude. Her lender gave me a higher rate. I went lender shopping, found a lower rate, and she was like, okay, let's give them a chance to match it. I was like, matching? They would have to be there. I don't want to match because they should have gave me a good rate from the beginning. I don't care. She was like, oh, we got to be loyal to them. No, baby, we don't have to be loyal to them. You want to be loyal to them, but that don't have nothing to do with me. Right. So ever since me not choosing her lender, I feel like she was a little snooty the whole time. And I'm like, I don't like that. You're about to get fired. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I could have fired her because she didn't help me find the property. Now, realtors, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I only know via ChatGPT, but I didn't fire her. But I mean, every chance she got to bring up that we should have used her lender, she brought it up, indeed. So Navy Federal, we didn't end up closing on time. We closed a day later. She was like, oh, my lender wouldn't have did this. I would have been able to go to his office and ask them what's taking them so long.
No, she would.
My lender just absolutely would not have done this. Sis, we not on your lender no more.
Right.
We been left him in the dust. Your lender fumbled the bag, baby. And honestly, I ain't even give y'all a few things. I just gave y'all one thing because I didn't expect this video to be so long.
So yeah, this right here, this really grinds my gears because in any business, professionalism isn't optional, but especially in real estate, when you're dealing with people buying and selling properties, professionalism isn't a choice. I don't care if you're making $3,000 from a transaction or you're making $30,000 from a transaction. Professionalism, respect, that's the base of what you should experience as a buyer or a seller from your real estate agent. I think this is what a lot of professionals in my industry forget, whether they've gone through the process or have never gone through it. What we fail to realize is that we are helping people, buyers specifically, make one of the largest purchases that they will in their lifetime. And at this moment, they're emotional, they're anxious, they're excited, they're feeling all of these things, and it's a lot going on. It can be confusing for somebody who's done it 3, 4, 5 times. Imagine how a first-time home buyer feels. So this is a message to my agents out there. Our buyers, our sellers, they deserve respect. They deserve our patience, and they deserve answers to the questions that they have. And as buyers and sellers out there, I want you guys to remember that. You don't want an agent that's going to be short with you. You need someone who's going to communicate with you and really make sure you understand the process as you're going through it. Now, there's nothing wrong with a real estate agent recommending or having a preferred lender. When you've worked with somebody over and over again, or you have an experienced real estate agent, they're usually going to know lenders who communicate very well with you. They're going to close on time, and they're able to solve the many problems that come up during the home buying process. So a real estate agent saying to you, well, hey, let's try out my lender because they da-da-da-da-da-da. That's not necessarily a red flag. But when it becomes a red flag is when buyers start to feel pressured or manipulated or forced into using someone that they just don't want to go with. There's a huge difference between I recommend this lender and you have to use this lender. And the latter statement, you having to use someone, breaks all kinds of rules for a real estate agent. And I can't speak for other states, but here in the state of Texas, that's not allowed. I can make all of the recommendations that I want, but at the end of the day, I have a fiduciary duty to my client to make sure that they're informed enough to make their own decisions. So remember, not every recommendation from a real estate agent means they're being corrupt or, they're trying to pull one over you or take advantage of you. Sometimes they've just closed dozens of transactions with the same person. They know how they work. They know their process, and they know they're going to take care of you and get you closed on time and into the home that you want. But with that being said, I do and always will encourage my buyers to shop lenders, compare numbers, compare fees, compare rates, and most importantly, compare communication styles. Just because a lender is the cheapest does not mean they're the best. In real estate, you get what you pay for. So if you're going with the cheapest lender, don't expect them to update you like you want to be updated. Don't expect them to cater to you like you may feel like you need to be catered to. If you want somebody that has a communication style, they're going to cater to you. They're going to let you know what's going on. They're going to give you updates, even if they don't all the way know what's going on. In my opinion, paying a little bit more for that if you can is priceless. Now, with that being said, because I have balanced conversations and I hold all parties accountable, I also think that buyers should be ethical when they're shopping for lenders. My dad is a loan officer, and I have grown up watching him help hundreds of people. He tells them what they need to know to be able to get the deal done, and then they disappear. They don't say anything. Those 5, 10, 15, 20 hours that he put into reviewing your loan and making sure you knew what was going on is lost in the wind. If you've been working with a lender and they've spent weeks educating you, explaining things to you, answering your questions, ensuring that you really knew what was going on throughout the home buying process, don't just disappear on them without a conversation because another lender came in at the last second. As a buyer, of course, do your due diligence, shop, do what's best for you and your family. But make sure you do it the right way, because lenders have to feed their families too. This next situation might just be one of the biggest red flags that lets you know that agent is not someone that you need to go with. Let's check it out.
I need to vent right now because I'm getting played to my face. I'm getting played in my face in real time, okay? So long story very, very short, we're trying to move, okay? We're trying to move to a city closer to Rodney's job, a bigger place, all the things. So we're like, let's give ourselves until his birthday, which is in March. Cool. But we're like, if we find our dream place leading up to his birthday, we're just gonna move fast. We'll hop on it no matter what month it's at, right? So I'm like, cool. So I get on Zillow, apartments.com, Redfin, and I'm just looking. I'm just seeing what's out there in this new city that we want to move to. Still in LA, but new neighborhood, I guess. I don't really know how LA works with that shit, but new city. Find our dream place. Found it. I found it after it was posted like 3 hours. So 3 hours, brand new. One thing about me being from New York and knowing how that goes with like finding a place, we move fast. So boom, call the realtor, schedule a tour. We go on the tour 2 days after. Ends up being an open house, not what it was supposed to be.
Right.
And let me preface this with this lady. She's an elderly woman, so she moves a little slow. She's a little old school when it comes to the application process with communication, period. So we go there. We're looking. We're like, this is it. Like, we need this place now. It's double the size of our old one. Not much more expensive. We have amazing credit. We're very qualified to get the place. Cool. So we're there. There's a bunch of people there. So I'm like, I already know. I need to submit my application right now.
Right.
Context, the apartment that we live in now, when I went to tour it, I literally got in my car, applied in my car, got approved in my car, walked in and gave them the deposit. Like, I don't play around when it comes to this shit, right?
Yeah, she ain't playing.
So anyway, we go downstairs and I'm like, okay, we really want the place. Where do we apply? And she's like, I don't know how to connect to the Wi-Fi to send you the application. So let me send it when I get home. And I said, okay, just making sure you're going to send it tonight when you get home, right? Because I don't play. She's like, either tonight or tomorrow. I'm like, tonight sounds good. She sends it the next day. This was last Sunday, mind you. I have not heard back from this woman but one time since last Sunday. I have sent her, I will literally put right here, I've sent her a text a day, an email a day. I've left her a voicemail. I've called her phone. She is legitimately not speaking to us. The one thing she said, I sent my application and I applied for me and Rodney, and she was like, can you send Rodney's application separate? Sure. Did that, and I was like, hey, can you just let me know you received our applications? Rodney's the one I updated. Crickets. Hey, just wanted to, I even texted this motherfucker, said, happy Thanksgiving. What? You're gonna know me? You're gonna remember me? Nothing. So I call the real estate office and I'm like, yo, I'm trying to apply. I'm very eager to apply to this address, to this rental. But the realtor is non-responsive. Is there another agent listed under this rental? Well, you know, she doesn't really answer the phone for people for a number she doesn't know. Maybe try texting her. Maybe I've texted her every day. Maybe try emailing her. I've emailed her every day. Okay, we'll take your number and give it to her, and we'll make sure she gets back to you. Crickets. So the listing is still available. Like, I don't even need you to call me and be like, it's yours. I just love an update. Like, it's so unprofessional, and now I'm starting to take this shit personally because what the fuck? So I've literally been losing sleep over this shit. Like, when I find a place that I think is so perfect, I just daydream, like, it's gonna be mine, right? But at this point, I'm like, am I just messing with fate right now? Because usually when things are supposed to be mine, they happen effortlessly and flawlessly. And like, sure, things take effort, but like, usually I'm hearing back. I'm never chasing anyone for an answer. Right. This is the first time I'm chasing this woman down and she will not get back to me. I'm like, I don't understand what is going on. She's not answering my calls or anything. I'm like, isn't this the dream type of like renter that you want who is on it? Like when we went there, she was like, yeah, we want to try to lease this out as soon as possible. Baby, I would have given the down payment that day. What are we waiting for? So I don't really know. Like, there's still an option to schedule tours on there. I'm like, is there so many applications that come on now, trash truck, want to interrupt. Is there so many applications that she's now drowning? I don't get it, but I don't know what to do. Like, do I keep pressing her? Do I keep calling to be like, am I just messing with fate? I feel like I am. I feel like this is not supposed to be for me.
Right.
Now, if I come back and have an update that we're moving into a new place, and it's this one, forget I made this video, but I'm just sick. And I look like a freaking snowman in this. I'm just sick. Like, it's our perfect place, y'all. And I just feel like she's playing in my face. And I think, like, a little bit of communication goes a very long way.
It does.
This is your profession. This is your job, to get back to people about houses. Where you at, ma'am? Where you at?
I feel her. because that irritates the mess out of me. I'm not gonna lie. I hate lack of communication. I don't need you to give me perfect answers. I just need you to communicate with me. Give me an update. Buying a house is emotional, and most buyers are already nervous. So when the professionals that are supposed to be helping them are silent and aren't talking to you, and you're texting them and you're emailing them and you're calling them and no one is saying anything, the silence makes it that much more nerve-wracking and definitely can create anxiety. When nobody responds, buyers start going down a spiral. Oh my gosh, is my loan denied? Did they reject my offer? Did I lose the house? Is something wrong? Is my real estate agent even working on my behalf, or are they off doing something else? All of these things come into play when there is a lack of communication. Now, as a buyer, I do want you to know this. Sometimes there's just genuinely no update at all. Your real estate agent may be waiting on underwriting. They may be waiting on an appraisal. They may be waiting on something from the seller. They may be waiting on title to respond. It's lots of different things that they can be waiting on that don't always constitute them reaching out to you. But, however, in this instance, dealing with the lady in the video or people who have dealt with the same level of bad communication or just not communicating at all, that's ridiculous. I wouldn't accept that as a buyer. I wouldn't accept that as a seller. If communication is important to you, and honestly, I think it's important to everybody. Even if you try to sit here and say, oh, it's not that important to me. Yes, it is. Because when you're spending thousands of dollars, communication is very important, because where is my money going? What are y'all over there doing? Am I going to get this house or not? Stop playing with my feelings. So before you hire an agent, I'm going to give you 4 very good questions that you need to ask. Number 1, what's your average response time? Is it a day? Is it 24 hours? Is it 48 hours? Number 2, do you work weekends or do you only work during weekdays? If you're someone who works during the week and you know you're not going to be able to go look at homes after you get off, then you need someone who's going to work on the weekends as well. Number 3, do you prefer texts? Do you prefer calls, or do you prefer emails? And then number 4, who covers you if you're unavailable? Do you have a team? Is it just you? What's your setup? Those questions right there are going to allow you to be able to evaluate who's going to be the best agent for you. Now, when it comes to communication, here's some red flags. Days with no response. Chasing down updates like you're a dog chasing after a ball or chasing after its tail. Feeling like you're constantly an inconvenience when their job is quite literally to help you out and to help you get through this home buying journey. And then lastly, getting different answers every time to where it's starting to feel like, okay, you're just telling me whatever so you could get me off your back. Those are red flags. Those are things to keep in the back of your head when you're communicating with an agent that you may feel like isn't the best. In real estate, problems happen, delays happen, surprises happen. But what separates a great real estate agent from a not so good one isn't whether problems show up or not. It's how they communicate when they do. Now, after watching all 3 of these situations, I noticed something very interesting. At first, they seemed completely different. One was about commission, one was about attitude, and then the other was about communication. But they all really point back to the same problem, and that's trust. I understand that as a buyer, you can handle delays and bad news and unexpected costs, and even just the many problems that arise throughout the transaction. But where you draw the line at is feeling blindsided, pressured, ignored, and just like you're an overall burden. And as a buyer, as a seller, as anyone in the market to purchase any level of real estate or going through a real estate transaction, you should never feel like that. Your representation should never have you feeling like you're a burden. So, if you're interviewing real estate agents right now, don't just ask them how many properties they've sold. Ask them how they communicate. Ask them how they explain things. Ask them how they handle problems. Because the right real estate agent isn't somebody who's just going to tell you what you want to hear, but they are going to communicate with you to try to lead you in the right direction. Because the best real estate agent isn't the one who just tells you what you want to hear. It's the one who's going to tell you the truth when things get stressful. If you're thinking about buying a home and you really want help creating a plan around your goals and your numbers and just what you're looking for and what to expect in the home buying process, I do offer one-on-one consultations. I am a licensed real estate agent here in the great state of Texas. My check license number is 768070, and you'll find the link for that consultation down below. Now, if you're not quite there just yet, I also have a giveaway link down below for my first-time home buyers who don't know where to start in the process, but know that they do want to own a home one day. And if that's not for you, I understand. Be sure to keep watching the channel, especially these next 2 videos, to keep building on your education when it comes to buying a home, so that when it's your turn, you won't make the wrong decision. Remember, when you know better, you definitely buy smarter. Until next time, see you in the next one.